clap. Hello.
What?
Yes,
Are we
yes,
streaming?
yes.
Oh, okay. I was just
You're
waiting for
here. You're
you.
here. Um,
Alright.
yeah. Hello and welcome to the second season and the sixth episode. I totally thought it would have been like halfway. Wait, it is halfway. Um, and the show's name is Rogues Gallery Podcast, and we talk about all things D&D and TTRPG. So we got a lot to go through today, so you'll know whose section is whose when it comes to it. So the main cast is as usual me, Aina, Rain, War, and Crit. However, Fired is not here today because, well, yeah, he just likes to leave that seat empty. But no worries, we got Rain to cover his section, so we'll see what he has in store for us.
Yeah.
Anyway, without further ado, let's just start.
And welcome to Tabletop Today, where we talk about tabletop topics today. And we're back again with another news, and I have a very important news for you guys to get through today. We have new stuff, which is cool, because now if you go to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/@scalianrogues, you'll be able to see we got a new section over there where we've been posting some shorts for you to enjoy. It's
Ooh, look.
actually get.
We
Yeah.
have the double-digit subscribers.
Let's go.
Let's go for triple digit subscriber, alright? Triple digits. I believe in you guys.
You are
But yeah.
insane, Rain. That will never happen.
You gotta believe, and you gotta believe.
Just being rational here, but
Anyways, basically we've been posting some shorts that kind of gives you a snippet and insight to our campaign. So if you are interested, should go give them a look. It's nice and short, and you're gonna get an idea of what we're up to in the campaign. On to the actual news. First of all, we're gonna announce that Paizo and Type 40 is announcing a collaboration. Essentially, Paizo, you know who Paizo is. They produce Pathfinder, Staff, and Starfinder. Those are pretty good. D&D 3.5 inspired, but has since branched off to their own thing. And then, of course, they have Type 40 is from what I can see, they do design some games, but a majority of their product is real life items. What they call artifacts. So they make items for Call of Cthulhu and then some other games that they are into. So now Paizo and Type 40 are collabing, which kind of, they don't really specifically say that. Their wording is they are going to produce the highest in-world artifacts to gamers, collectors, and enthusiasts. It's a little bit vague, but I get the feeling that Paizo and Type 40 is going to produce a lot more, how should I say, real-world magic items. So I'm looking forward to see if they start producing, I don't know, deck of many things or something. Is there a deck of many things in Pathfinder?
When you say real world magic items, does that mean it's gonna work like a magic
No,
item?
it's not. It's not gonna
So
work.
you're saying if I take out a deck of many things,
No.
my reality will change.
No, bad Ina. No. The world will not change. But it's a memorabilia, statuette, something that you can collectibles. I think the best word for it. Yeah, collectibles. So we'll see how that.
up there, man.
I'm sorry, man. If only
Way
magic
to
is
start us
real.
off with a disappointment, man.
I would have totally gone for a bag of holding. Like, damn.
Hey,
I mean,
hey,
like,
type 40. If you wanna upgrade your artifact creation, might wanna look into magic for a bit, huh? We got already a few customers here willing to pay. Just waiting.
let's be honest. If they actually made a bag of holding, it would be such a scientific revolution.
I know.
Wormhole
but
technology.
Science, not just magic.
it's magical.
The
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Any advanced magic is just science that you don't understand.
And
Exactly, I
I-
agree.
I
I
mean,
would
I
beg to differ. I think any science I don't understand is magic.
it's not,
That is true as well.
I'm just
That's
already
the
imagining
teacher.
people. I'm already imagining people buying 2 of these bags and just combining into the first week. Someone's gonna do that. I'm telling you, if that's a thing.
You
Like a
will
war.
say
Like
You're right. metal detectors. Oh no.
Yuriko-san, and I think it relates to bag of holding, would make kidnapping crit so much easier. So maybe you just gotta lock your doors and windows at night before you go to bed.
This would
All
be
right.
perfect advertisement for locks and
Kill
iron doors and such.
Arcade
a
lock.
your room. Sponsored by Arcade Lock. Anyways, so that's it about Pirates of Time 14. Next, upcoming by the end of this year, we have the Tabletop Awards 2022. So this is kind of like a yearly thing that is held by, I can't remember who, but they're being hosted in an expo basically, where you guys can come and attend and watch and everything. But they have like a lot of tabletop designers and tabletop awards and all those stuff, but that's not what we're interested in today, because that's cool and all, but we're looking at the tabletop RPG category. So if you scroll down a little bit, we have 4 candidates for the award. We have the Avatar Legends, with its kind of like unique mechanic of like pulling and pushing of like light and dark kind of mechanic. We got Coyote and Crow. I've never actually played this one, so I'm interested. Iron Sworn Starforged, and also the One Ring, aka the Lord of the Ring TTRPG. Now, I've never played any of these. Have you guys heard any of these RPG before, guys?
Obviously, I've
I
heard of
w-
Avatar Legends, because who has not?
Have you?
Uh,
You actually have played do you know the mechanics of it, the TTRPG?
No, I just
Yeah,
know
okay.
it's cool. That's all. How is it cool? I have no idea.
Great.
Avatar Legends, a role-playing game.
Avatar original playing game, of course. And what about you, War? Anything?
I've looked into the Avatar thing. I was kind of excited, but I felt it was more of a narrative RPG game than.
Oh yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
It wasn't
definitely.
my type of RPG game, but
Yeah.
you know, it's to each their own.
Uh-huh. But yeah, we did some poll on Twitter as well, with like a magnificent number of people that answer, which is 2, and yeah, both of them.
Whoa.
And
There's
both of
another
them.
person other than me? Who
I
is
know,
this?
crazy. But yeah, both of them voted Avatar Legends, which is pretty cool. They have the kind of like cool mechanic of where you have to. It's about your character beliefs and how they affect you role playing the game. So it's very story focused. Even in combat, it's very story focused. I know the One Ring is pretty close to 5e, and Coyote and Crow is kind of like a spell jammer, kind of a little bit, where it's like magic and tech. While Iron Sword is just a pure sci-fi one. I can see the site here. Apparently, you can actually play it solo or 2 people, or with a group like a D&D. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, that is about the Tabletop Awards. Next is some things for you to buy. Well, not yet, it's because it's not out yet. But first of all, Tales of Primordia. This is a TTRPG made by the My Little Pony RPG creator, creating Tales of
Yay.
Primordia, which is a simplified TTRPG where it's less for like the more adept at TTRPG, but more for new people and kids who want to come in and join and play TTRPG, where you guys play as dinosaurs. So that's nice.
Wait, I misread this whole thing. I thought it was a My Little Pony RPG. I was wrong.
My Little Pony RPG does already exist, but Tales of Primordia is about you guys playing as dinosaurs, and it is coming out next year. If I recall, January 2023. It says there.
Sometime in 2023.
Yeah, sometime in 2023. So give that a look if you guys are interested in bringing in your kids to play it, because who doesn't want to play as dinosaurs, right?
I mean, you can be a druid. And like a party full of druids.
Oh my god.
Dinosaur.
Just everybody just play in the campaign, but you guys transforming into dinosaurs.
Yeah.
No other transformation is allowed.
Yeah.
Yuck in the chat, dropping the best joke. Playing as dinosaurs is horrible. It just spoils the ending of the campaign.
Oh no. No, it's like a cyberpunk, it's never gonna end well. But you play it just because.
Way to go, I know, clickbaiting all the bronies there.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Albert's gonna leave now. That's the jig is up.
Not My Little Pony. I'm disappointed. But yeah, give it a look. It's not out yet, so we give it a look. But for something that is already out, why don't you guys check out Marvel Multiverse TTRPG? Now, this one is not quite available, but the playtest material is available for you guys to go around and play with it a little bit. So it is not currently out. It's kind of in a playtest mode, like how 1D&D is, but you can use it to play around, test the mechanics, test the system to see if you like it. This one, the main thing I want to bring here is because it's Marvel, so that means something, and then it is free. You can actually download it and try it now. So go ahead, go to the URL there that I'm sure one of us can provide and share in the chat, and you guys can give it a go. Finally, final news of the day, the Op Games is releasing one really cool kind of games where, if the session is cancelled and you want to practice your D&D knowledge a little bit, why don't you guys go ahead and check out Trivial Pursuit D&D edition, which is basically, well, Trivial Pursuit, but D&D edition, where the questions in the game is about D&D essentially. So you might not have the time to play a session, but if with maybe 3 people or 2 people, you can still have Trivial Pursuit. Just up your knowledge in D&D a little bit if you think you're smart.
I would actually love to test that. I wonder if it's lore or rules. That's what gets me.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
I'm a
mean, I
massive
wouldn't
rules
know.
lawyer.
I wouldn't know at all about lore, but
Hey,
I
that's
would
the
know
thing.
the rules.
Because you
Yeah,
see those
I
6
know
sections.
nothing about Waterdeep.
Yeah,
That's the only thing.
because those 6 sections are different categories of questions. So I'm assuming there's gonna be like monster stats, game rules, D&D lore, or like DMing tips, something like that. So maybe it's like a mixture of different kinds of questions. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be disappointing if it's just lore based, because not everybody knows Forgotten Realms. Even then, they have to pick Forgotten Realms or Spelljammer or whatever and so on.
Or all of them.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it'll be cool if each section is like separate aspects of D&D.
Whoa! There's clue for Critical Role.
Yes, that's been there for a while.
You don't know?
There's another one as well, clue for Critical Role.
No. I think we covered it in one of our episodes.
Yeah, I tweeted it, but I don't think we covered it in
Here it
in
is.
podcast.
It says featuring 1,800 questions on dungeons and adventures, monsters, history, cosmology, characters, and all that.
Oh, there you go. I guess it
Mine
is
is
lore
very
based
hard.
then. So,
Aw.
it's gonna be a bit different. But there are monsters, and then there are magic and miscellaneous. So the magic and the monster part might be something that you guys might know. But yeah, the cosmology, gods, that's a little bit difficult. History, fuck that. Not gonna know. So yeah.
I've played D&D for 11 years now. I
Uh-huh.
still don't know. Hello, bot. On the chat, hello. What was I saying? Right, I've played for 11 years. I still can't list more than like 3 gods of D&D, or Forgotten Realms rather. I've played
yeah,
paladins
fair.
and clerics.
Like
And I still don't know.
all the gods that I know is from fucking Critical Role, I guess. Pelor and
that's-
Stormlord, that kind of stuff. But yeah, that is everything from me. Thank you very much. Back to you, Aida.
I have nothing, so I'm just gonna call for the character. I mean, the special guest that's gonna let's go.
Smooth.
Didn't get here.
It's Midoriya. I'm sorry. Hello. I did not know you were
Hello.
teaching the class today.
Yeah,
Are we
we
doing
got
them finally?
we got it. We got Midoriya.
Hey guys, how's it going? I sound like 40 instead, but fuck it. Hey guys,
14.
I'm Midoriya Izuku, and I will be teaching today's character workshop. Oh, so today we are making me. So why don't you go over to this screen over here to list down my. Oh! Can you reduce the screen back, please? Small back.
Oh.
Make it small, and then put me at the center. Put me at the center. Okay. Hey, this is very spoiler-heavy territory. Do not watch if you're not wanting to be spoiled the anime and also the manga. So be warned.
Ayo.
So if you guys don't want to hear, just leave. But for the rest of you, come on.
I'll see you later. Bye. I'm just
I'm gonna go as spoiler light as possible. But Midoriya, for guys who don't know, is the main character for My Hero Academia. He is. There's basically in a world where everybody has superpowers, he does not have one. But by the stroke of luck, he was able to gain an ability from his mentor, All Might. And then as he grows and he grows, he gains more and more and more and more abilities until, he becomes the number one hero, so to speak. Even before he became he gained all his powers, he is actually a person with a very keen mind. He has very strong interest in heroes, and he has
you say.
yeah, exactly. He has keen mind, so he is very he very interested in heroes, and he analyzes them, understands their abilities, and so on. And then to gain the ability from All Might, he had to train his body. So his body physically is pretty tough. And then, of course, as usual, his muscles are pretty strong as well, because he spent a lot of time to build his body to be able to contain the quirk. And then now, when he actually gets the superpower, he gains a special superpower where it's like 7 in 1. So he's going to have a lot of it. So you can see that the main ability that he has is basically super strength. He's able to stockpile power and release it. So that's his main ability, super strength. He also have multiple abilities that I'm just gonna skim over through right now. One is levitate. He also have an ability where he can throw out whips that he can control and strangle people with. He can accelerate his body. He can change the velocity of his body. He can there's like 7 different abilities that you can go through into his Wikipedia, but essentially he has a lot of abilities that we are going to try to mimic with the D&D class today.
Indomitable. Huh.
That's
Keen
very important.
mind. Huh.
Wait, I'm sorry. You're trying to replicate current Deku as level
Oh no, not current Deku. No. At current Deku, we're gonna at level 3 we're gonna mimic him up to season 3, where he gets full cowling.
Okay.
But you can actually
Not
level up
child.
this build a little bit more so that you can get what you call the other abilities as well. So stay tuned. All right, so are we ready? Let's get to D&D Beyond and let's create our character. So first of all, let's create our character. First, we're going to pick his ability score first. Is that what we usually do?
Not really, but
Alright.
sure.
Alright, ability score. So, the ability score, we're gonna use standard array this time. And it's very, very simple. Okay, Aina, you go from the left to the right. Okay? You put 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8.
Why don't you just use standard array? What the heck?
Yeah, it is standard array. 15, 14,
wait.
13, 12, 10, 8.
I don't know why. I know I choose standard array. I thought you said put by.
Nope, nice. That's standard array. So, yeah. Standard array. 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. You just need to distribute the ability score that way. So, we're putting strength because that's his main ability. Punch, strong. His dexterity, because while he is strong, he is also very dexterous. He's able to jump around and shit. Constitution, pretty high because he gets hurt a lot, especially in the very beginning of the campaign of his story. He gets hurt a lot, so this can make sure he does not die. Intellect, because he is kind of he observes people well and kind of gain information from them. Wisdom is pretty high as well, but he is a little bit of a crybaby, so he's kind of he still has a lot more to learn. And charisma is super low because he has very weak presence. That's his main thing. He's very unsure of himself, very doubtful of himself, and he's learning to grow up later. So yeah, charisma will be his lowest stat. Yeah, okay, so this is my stat. I hope you guys understand. Next we're gonna pick my race, so let's go. Alright, next we're going to his race. Can you guys guess what he's going to be? Can I get some guesses? Human.
I will assume human, but you're gonna pull a trick, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, actually," and then be like, what's it called? Guys
What
who
is it?
carry twice as much. Guys, Why am I blanking on this?
Dwarf.
Which one? Describe the race.
Not orc. Fuck.
Custom lineage.
Fuck. Travis Willingham played him.
Half orc.
Gnome.
No?
No, neither.
Chutney?
What?
Oh, Goliath.
Fucking
Goliath.
Thank you.
Goliath?
Okay. Goliath.
Why are
Okay.
they
And what
flying
about?
from that?
And what about you? Or what do you think his race was gonna be?
Alright, let me think about this. I think he's one of the short races, so dwarf or half elf.
Dwarf.
Not
Alright.
half-
Okay.
Dwarf
Half
So-
elf are not short.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's dwarf,
Alright.
gnomes, or
Halfling.
halflings. Yes.
Okay. So Midoriya, why don't you show them your race?
Oh.
So my race is if you scroll up a little bit and you can see the one up there called half orc. We're gonna go with half orc
But
for
he's
Midoriya
not a
today.
Almost had
halfling.
it.
No.
Oh, and he's a kid. Okay, he's not like he's short. He's just a kid. Because the main reason I want to give him half orc because we give him strength. Obviously, we give him constitution to bump it up to 14 to give it some benefit. The main two things that I really want in him is relentless endurance. When he falls to 0, he gets back on 1. That kid gets fucked up a lot, dude.
This is
There's literally a scene where he gets crushed by the enemy and he falls unconscious, and then like a kid literally like can like tell him to come on fight, and he comes back from the dead punching the enemy back up. So yeah,
Okay.
relentless endurance, definitely his thing.
This is all of like main
Anime.
main
Yeah,
shonen characters.
exactly.
Are you saying all shonen main characters?
Ah,
are
I
half-orc?
have two more reasons. If you scroll down one more, next is the brutal critical. Because this guy, he savage attacks, where when he crits, he deals additional extra dice of damage, which is really good because he and in his form, he basically like he doesn't punch fast, but he like does really massive damage with every single punch. So savage attack would be perfect. And finally, half orc is usually green. Look at his hair. Yeah, I have green hair like this. It's perfect,
Yeah,
right?
hair, not skin.
Yeah, no, it's green. It's perfect. Just deal with it. So yeah, we're gonna go with half orc for this one to give him a little bit of a bulk.
Okay.
And then for his let's go with his backstory. Let's go with that. Backstory. There are a lot of things that would suit a character like him. Because he's a strong fighter. We could pick like athletic or folk hero or something. But all of them doesn't really fit Midoriya's backstory. What we're gonna go with is cloistered scholar instead, because he is technically a student, guys. So he will still have
Nerd of that.
and a massive fucking nerd at that. That's correct. So he gets history skill by default, and then we're gonna give.
I don't have that.
Is there not like
But
scholar or something like
There
that?
is a custom background here, so what do I get?
Right. So for the by default, the cloistered scholar will give you history.
Okay.
And then your second skill, you have option between Arcana, Religion, and Medicine or something. We're gonna pick Arcana because that is the closest to superheroism in D&D world. So Arcana.
So, is it 2 skills, 2 tools, 2 skills, 2 languages?
2 skills, 2 languages.
Okay.
And for the 2 languages, basically you can pick anything. So I just picked the 2 other most common one, Dwarvish and Elvish, because language is not really not really a point of importance in My Hero Academia. And then finally, the feat that you get is the Researcher feat. Because this kid researches his enemies a lot and everything. Not even enemies, even allies actually. He does research on them a lot and everything
wait
and
a
get
minute.
information. So it's
Is it
perfect
just a
for the guy.
sage? It is.
Is it
just a
sage?
sage? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
man.
Yeah, that's Sage. I don't know why. The one that I have is a cloistered scholar. Maybe it's from a different book or something. But yeah,
Dwarvish
given the
and what?
researcher. Dwarvish and Elvish, the 2 other most common language.
Right.
Yeah. Alright, there you go. So now we get his nerdy side of it. And finally, let's go to the class. Now, what is going to be his class level? This is going to be very obvious, guy. He punches
Fighter.
people around. So what are you gonna do?
It's not gonna be a monk. No way.
It's gonna be a fighter because
It's gonna be a fighter. That is correct.
indomitable is like the key.
Literally, literally a feat.
Indomitable will at level 9.
Yeah.
Doesn't he also like punch the shit out of that one guy in season 4?
Yeah, I mean you're punching, so that's why as the fighting
Not
style.
like a lot of punching, like an aura level of punching, right?
Or a level of punching. That's kind of like it's like one additional punching. This is 4, close enough, you know.
Yeah.
So with the fighting style, we're gonna pick unarmed fighting, obviously,
Ooh.
and his proficiencies we're gonna pick obviously athletics and acrobatics because those 2 skills are very important to him. He jumps around a lot, he runs around a lot, he balances around a lot. Those 2 are important. Then fighting style, we pick the punching, and that's about it. Simple enough for level 1. That allows him to basically become a little bit more bulky when he is doing melee, and if he's doing just like no armor at all, which is usually how he goes, he'll get 1d8 with his fist. So that is already immediately better than monk at like base level, basically. And next, let's move on to second level, which we're gonna pick fighter again, obviously. Up him again to give him a little bit more healing so that he can be a little bit more tanky. And then action surge, like War said, make him punch more. And that's it. And for level 3, let's give him Barbarian instead.
Wait, what?
Because I think around season 3, he gets an ability called Full Cowling, where he finally understands that he's not supposed to hold back his power and use one body part at a time. He's supposed to kind of release all the power at once, which gives him a transformation mode called Full Cowling, which is what we do with Rage. It marginally increases the guy's strength and then like his dexterity and everything. So that's exactly what Rage does. Gives more damage and all that. So there you go. 3 levels for this guy, and he also I think and you get unarmored defense at level 1 as well, because even when he's not in his superhero suit, even when he's in school uniform, he's pretty tanky and everything. But with his gear, okay, we're gonna take medium armor for that. He's gonna be pretty tanky. He's gonna be even more tanky with all the tools that he's going to get. So yeah, that is the first 3 level of this build. 2 levels of fighter, 1 levels of barbarian. At higher levels, you guys can you should level up the barbarian to level 3 and then go fighter all the way to level 17 so that you guys can get that 4 punching action. But I do want to ask you guys, what do you think the fighter subclass should be?
I want to say the Battlemaster.
Battlemaster is a good choice. It's a good choice. What about you, War? What do you think?
Yeah, I think honestly, Battlemaster would be the call. He does a lot of versatility.
That is true. That is true. And what about you, Aina? What do you think?
Well, I don't know this person because I don't watch My Hero Academia yet.
What? Oh, why don't you watch my show? You should. It's really good.
Because it's not finished. I've learned my lesson from Attack on Titan, JoJo no Kimi no Bogen. I'm not gonna do this again to another shonen.
Don't worry, it's almost over from where we're standing on.
That's why they said 2 seasons ago with Attack on Titan.
Alright.
Yeah, okay.
But
Well,
I think it's gonna be. I don't know if he's a typical main shonen main character, then maybe something like the one that gives
Makes you fight the better. Gladiator.
No, hey, give the one that Darren had with the
Banneret, the one that can inspire other people.
Of which I do
Alright.
not have apparently.
That's okay. That's a purple dragon knight or something like that. Is the other name for that class. But that is cool and all. That does make sense for you guys to go for Battlemaster for the maneuvers and everything. Makes him a little bit more tankier. It gives him a bit more tactical combat. But I'm going to suggest instead go for Eldritch Knight. Because Because one, we can go the usual punch, because that's his main thing. But we can also go for United States of Smash with one really super powerful hit by using spells like Booming Blade or something, just to give him a little bit extra punch when you go on fighting. And then with the spells, you will be able to mimic his higher level abilities. For example, if you wanna get the Fajin quirk, you might want to take haste. If you want Black Whip, you might want to get Entangle or something. And yeah, I told you spoilers in the very beginning. Just so you know.
Season 3. This is like season should be
all the way till the manga. I said all the way till the manga. All the way till the manga.
Alright.
If you want to float around, you should take Fly as well. So there's a lot of abilities that you can mimic with spells, obviously. So that's why I suggest going Eldritch Knight instead. Now for the Barbarian, I said to go through level 3. Obviously, you will get unarmored you'll get a reckless attack, which is a perfect example on how to show how he keeps getting beat up, and then he does a lot of damage. That's why, because he's been fighting recklessly this whole time, you know. And then Danger Sense, because there's literally a quirk that he gets called Danger Sense later on. So, yeah.
Wow.
And what do you think his level 3 subclass as a Barbarian would be? Anyone can pick a guess.
I don't know.
Ancestral?
Guardian? Warrior?
Technically, Ancestor. The spoilers again could make sense, and the one with the
flavor of it, the flavor of it.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to suggest this is
Zealot?
purely aesthetic. Storm Herald.
Wow.
Because when he goes full Cowling, he has lightning effect. So Storm Herald for the lightning effect. So and it makes his punching a little bit more punchier. But
what's the one that gets exhaustion from raging?
That's Berserker.
Berserker.
I would
not
argue
Zealot?
that one because like his body gets super messed up from all
That
the power.
is true as well. That is true as well. And with the
that's
bonus,
early
and he
on.
gives an additional attack with the bonus action as well. So nice. A little bit weaker than the other subclasses, but yeah, that's a good option as well. So the Berserker, the Frenzy Barbarian, the Ancestral is a good one, but the ability doesn't really match up with the what he does, because the Ancestor is more on 1v1ing the guy, and then of course the Lightning, because lightning effects. In the future, as you level up, you might want to get the Tough Feet for more health, or Mobile Feet to keep him moving around and punching around and stuff. But my main suggestion is to keep the ASI for ability scores to increase your strength and constitution. But yeah, that is Midoriya Izuku. We are going to name.
Wait.
Wait. Okay.
You got
All right.
it. Okay.
And that is for Midoriya, and we're going to name him over here. Not Johnny My Hero Academia. We're gonna name him. Okay, this is a little bit weird. We're gonna name him Dolly Greenvale. You're gonna go play a gender swap character this one. Dolly Greenvale. Because Deku means doll in Japanese, kind of like useless. That's the mocking name that Bakugo gives. And Midoriya literally translates to Green Valley. So, Greenvale. Dolly Greenvale, everybody.
Oh, that's kind of smart.
Yeah. And that is Midoriya Izuku. Yeah, that's me. So go ahead, try it around and play it. Don't play with me. Play the character. So, nice meeting you guys. Goodbye.
Well,
What a
there
nerd.
it goes.
Set in the toilet.
So,
Right. Spoiler over. You can resume now.
yeah. So play this one if you want. We build it up to level 6, but you can take it further, maybe in your games. Yeah. For now, let's move on to the next section.
Feel laggy.
It's never not laggy. It's just the curse of another world, aka Otherworldly Tales.
Is the intervention is the signals getting corrupt from travel?
Yeah. Trying to through dimensions, yeah.
Yeah, there's too much dimensions open.
Yeah.
You get close a dimension sometimes. Anyway, so today I got maybe 2 stories. We'll see what happens at the end of this one. And yeah, let's just get into it. I might need some help voice overing by Rain, but well, yeah.
Oh, let's go for it.
Okay. So today's story is from r/RPG Glory Stories. So it's a good story, hopefully, by user Dogman the Hero, titled "Killing a Water Elemental with a Fork." Well, there's an F word in it, but we don't say that. Anyway, um, let's get into it. This is a story from my first ever D&D campaign. The party is me, a Varian human, bear totem barbarian, and the DM's little brother, a wizard, though I don't remember his subclass or race. A small group, I know, but we gain more members later on. This campaign centered around an Asian sealed king with 3 sons. The seal on the king could either be opened by killing his sons and taking the keys they had, or by obtaining 7 magic pearls, 2 of which were in our possession. We had decided to hunt down at least one of the brothers and guard the key ourselves. Maybe not the best decision, but we were confident in our abilities. My character was a bit of a joke character. I had built it entirely on Tavern Brawler Strike and only fought using silverware. Because of this, DM gave me a homebrewed magic item. We both started with 2 magic items called the Utensil Bag of Holding. It had 15 charges, and by reaching into it, I could use one and pull out a random utensil. This will be important later. So, at this point, we just reached level 5 when we reached the youngest brother, who took the form of a giant crab made of water. No offense to any crabs, or any of you who like squid crab. DM later revealed we were under-leveled for this encounter, so he lowered its damage output and made a few attacks. But even so, the 2 of us and the NPC who was helping us were struggling. I didn't seem to be able to hit it. He later told us it could only be harmed by magic, so I'd only be able to hit it with a utensil from the bag. And Wizard was, of course, squishy, so he was running out of HP and had been cornered by the crab. It was at this point I had an idea. I had just obtained the sharpshooter feat. So this is where I need you to help me voice Wizard.
Got it.
Okay. So I turned to Wizard and said, I have an idea, but if it doesn't work, you might die. Do you want me to go for it? To which he responded,
It?
I think it could, but it's risky.
Will it be cool?
If it works, yes.
Hear it.
I asked DM if there are any stalactites near the crab. He tells me to roll perception as a bonus action instead of an action, because he wanted to know what I was planning. I rolled high enough to reveal one pretty much right above the crab. I grinned at Wizard and said, I'd like to pull a utensil out of my bag. Okay, where's the DM?
Okay, you reach into the bag, feel a metal handle in your palm, and pull out a fork which glows with a faint aura.
I like to throw with the fork at the stalactite above the crab. Is that okay? DM grins, realizing what I'm planning.
Make a range attack roll.
I roll nat 20. Nat freaking 20. So DM describes the fork flying right at the stalactite, hitting it right at its base, and flying through the other side. At this point, I assume he let that happen, but wouldn't let it fall because there was no way a fork would realistically be able to take down the stalactite. But after a short pause, he describes cracks forming around the hole and the stalactite falling right on the water crab, crushing it. So Wizard and I start losing our minds because my silly idea actually worked. The remains of the crab form into the shape of a watery child who we then convinced to give us the key. Other stuff happened after that, but that was by far the highlight of that session. That barbarian is still one of my all-time favorite characters, mainly because of this event. How was it?
Utensil barbarian, perfect. That was good. It's just a simple. That's always nice when the player just decided, you know what? Let's not, deal with the enemy directly. Why don't we build a giant rocket for 3 months and then shoot it at the monster? That would be nice.
Feel salty about that, huh?
No, I just think that's fucking awesome. What campaign would you be able to see the players building a V2 rocket, shooting it at a giant monster, dealing
I do love that.
Yeah.
As a player and as a dungeon master, when either my players use the environment to their benefit, or when I, as the player, see something was obviously intended to be used, it's just the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
My first instance of it was playing in the snow, right? Like a snowy campaign. And the dungeon master let me kick snow into a guy's face before attacking him as
Ooh.
one of my attacks
That's
to give myself
great.
advantage.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
it's a small thing, but it's so cool, and I urge everybody to do it all the time.
Exactly.
So, Crit, do you think this is a fake story?
Well, there's a very convenient nat 20, which
That's what I
always
thought.
telling.
I mean,
But
if you look at Brendan Lee Mulligan's campaign, apparently net 20s is all the players roll at critical moments, you know?
true.
I mean,
That's
just take a look at like Kane. He keeps rolling that 20 at very critical moments, and I'm not even sure
Yeah,
how
but-
he does that.
Kane is just built different.
Okay.
Fair
The
enough.
real thing I want to, actually over this
Okay.
is that the what's it called, stalagmite?
Yeah,
Stalactite?
Stalactite.
It's not a magical weapon.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I will counter this. I will counter this because monsters, they have resistance or immunity to slashing, bludgeoning, and piercing weapon damage.
Uh-huh.
But
What would that be?
if they get crushed by like the surrounding, or if you drop something from high altitude, that's not weapon attacks. So that will
So if-
damage it normally.
So if you throw a hammer from top of a building and you hit somebody in the head, you didn't kill them?
Technically, you wouldn't, I'd say, because like, it's not like a proper weapon swing attack or something like that. It's more like an environmental kind of thing. Ow!
Yeah, but it's done on purpose, you know? It's with intent.
Yeah,
I don't know,
that's what the GM would have to allow. But that is actually a ruling thing, because like some monsters, they have immunity to slashing, piercing weapon attack, slashing, piercing, bludgeoning weapons, but not falling damage or something. That's how the monster you guys fought were able to get damaged by the train, but not your swords.
I mean,
Yeah.
getting run over by a train is different, but okay, I will submit to that.
Yeah.
Make a good point.
Anyway, I prepared another story in case Crit said it was fake. I don't know if I should go to that story now.
Is this like very fake?
I don't know.
I want to see it now. What is
Okay.
the title?
Because
Oh, okay.
the next story is I think it's something that Crit would like really like because of like he also runs 2 campaigns. But
Oh.
I'm gonna just it's a short one, so we can just get into it really quickly. So this
Alright.
is another post by in r/RPG Glory Stories, but this one is by the Black Knights. The title goes, I just ran the 2nd anniversary session of our campaign. So pretty straightforward. So like the title says, I have just completed running the 2nd anniversary session of our long-running campaign. Back in 2020, I was but a rookie games master who was starting out running his first ever campaign. I ended up becoming the DM by default due to the previous one departing suddenly. Thrust into the position, I started off slowly. At first I didn't think I was very good at it, but we kept going. At the beginning it was every other week before moving to weekly sessions around 5 months into the game. When I first started the game, I was expecting it to run a year at the longest, but here we are at the start of a potential 3rd year and with more to go. After running the 1 game, I expanded to incorporate a game on Saturdays, the first of which collapsed due to player issues, but alas, I kept the remnant of that group and founded a new game from the ashes. So I'm currently running 2 weekly games, one on Wednesday and one on Saturday. So, for the 2nd anniversary, I decided to try a crossover session with all of the players and their various PCs. I full-heartedly accepted the challenge. 9 players, 14 player characters, some of
Jesus
whom
Christ.
were retired or dead PCs all mixed together via time travel and interdimensional nonsense. Disaster waiting to happen, right? Too many people, too many characters, too much time, mumbo jumbo, multiple timelines. It had to fail, right? But nope, not at all. It had no right to work, but somehow everyone blended together and the game went off almost perfectly. The PCs from the Saturday game went back in time to stop the Paladin Warlord from destroying all time by opening this void in space. They worked together incredibly well, both as a team in-game and as people out of it. They gave each other time to talk and respected each other. A couple of times, one player got a little excited and talked over a couple of players, but they soon calmed down. Incredibly, we were even able to introduce space combat into 5e without it completely falling apart. Something I have personally shied away from doing as I've never been comfortable with the mechanics of it. After an epic space combat between the enemy's ship and the party's vessel, which resulted in their ship dropping to just 1 HP, they took one final shot at the enemy, which resulted in its explosion. One round before the enemy would have opened the space void. Okay. A perfect ending for our heroes. I'm just so proud of the fantastic group of people who come together to play with me every week, not just as players but as friends. Together they've brought life to a world/universe which I had in mind, yet they've made it so much more. It has become our games and our world. I just wanted to post a public thank you message to all of the great people who have played in our game world over the past 2 years, as well as celebrating the fact we have managed 2 years together in total. So yeah, it's a short story. But
That is so awesome.
yeah,
14 characters, 9. Oh, that's crazy.
I mean that's like because I know Chris is running a campaign with two people, two groups, but in one world. So like, imagine if they actually meet up. This is something you could do.
There have been minor crossovers, for the past 3 years we run the game, and I'm not gonna lie, seeing this kind of makes me wanna do another. Especially because our 3-year anniversary is like right now, actually. This month. This coming month.
Well,
there you go.
Do it. Well, yeah,
maybe.
I chose this story because it reminded me of you. Like, hey, cool. Did Crit wrote this?
I was doubting myself. I was like, did I write that?
Because the time frame was the same as well, almost, except for the time where they actually played. But but yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, that's our stories for today. Well, War has been silent. I don't know if he's come back yet.
He has said that we should skip to my part if he's not back and unmuted.
Right. So
I guess we're rolling with that.
I guess so. Well, before
how on brand for today's topic as well.
Which is
preparation.
Oh. Well, now that we know that, let's go to the second last section.
Welcome back, War. And also, welcome.
Hey,
to
you don't need to out me out here, okay?
we just talked about it. So yeah,
I had
hello.
with,
Hi.
Burritos.
Bone up the teeth. Hi, and welcome to GM Academy, where we talk about how to GM and how to do all kinds of GM nonsense. And hopefully all of us come out, as better GMs at the end of this. So, what I have in front of me is the three of you, all of which have GM'd at one point or another, some more than others. It's a wild coincidence that Farid's not here, because he never GM'd, and he should.
GM'd before,
did he?
He wanted to, but never got to the...
Oh, he never did?
Such a shame, but alas. Also, sorry, Juki. And so, today we're talking about world building and prep. Mostly prep. So, if you guys don't mind me asking, starting with War, when you were DMing for your family, that one-shot, multi-shot thing you did, how much did you prep, roughly, before the session?
None at all. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I just decided, let's play D&D, and everyone's like, "Oh, I want to play this," and I suddenly realized, it'd be really fun if they were all in school, and then Strixhaven just came out. I was like, fuck it, I'm ripping off Strixhaven, and I just went with the flow with that.
That's fair enough. Did you look at any modules or anything while you were doing it?
Oh, none at all actually. I just took the spells and some of the like mechanics and the concept of it, and just ran with it. Oh, there's 5 houses. There's a map that I'm just ripping off in the internet, and I kind of twisted it out of my own. There's
That
no
is
following.
delightful.
My Strixhaven is definitely different from Wizards of the Coast Strixhaven, like any and everyone else would be in their old campaign. But I think in terms of world building and prep, I kind of, as soon as I set up the premises, I've already set expectations of what exists in a world like this. Because my players, my cousins, they try to like outsmart me, like saying like, "Oh, I want to go invisible and I need to investigate non-creepily the girls' dorm room for this one specific student because they think she's making a deal with the devil." But then I say, "Oh, there's anti-magic and there's an anti-magic field past curfew," so they had to do it all before 6 p.m. in the broad daylight.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Oh no, sorry. I was just gasping. Yeah.
okay, fair enough.
Fun memories. Yeah.
It's very commendable that you did that, and also goes to prove my point, which will come later. So thank you very much for your answer. Next up is Aina. When you were jamming us for I forgot the name of the one shot, which totally should be a campaign, which we should totally finish also. But how long did you prep for?
A week or two. I don't know, my prep usually is like 2 weeks because I've only ever run one shots. So like I think one shots just take more time to prepare, but then again I wouldn't know because I've never really prepared for a campaign. But mostly because like everything starts and ends in that one session, and I don't know. Like I've done both. I've done a module and I've done my own story, which is like I'll be honest. I think I'd rather run a module because there's answers in there for me. Because if I run my own, then I need to come up with the answers, and I don't know if they're right answers or not. But that's just, I mean, I know there's no actual right answers, but it's like, I don't know. I don't like to make decisions, which is hard when you're the DM. So, every time I've run a one shot, it makes me feel like, yep, nope, no DMing for me.
Completely understandable. It's a daunting task.
I like the other sides of the prep, like making the story, figuring out the what to find, and especially like making the assets and maps and all that. What I don't like is actually running the session.
That is amazing. I do spend most of my time making maps and finding suitable tokens for characters as well, so I get that.
Yeah, that's
It's probably
fun.
the most fun part for me as well.
So what you're saying is the most tedious tasks for DMs is your favorite part of DMing? Not the running part?
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. I've always liked tedious stuff because it's like you can kind of turn off your brain and just do it. But
Intrusive thoughts.
yeah, when you're running the session, your brain is on like 100% of the time, and you're always thinking like, oh my god, are they having fun? Is this good? Is this a good way for the story to end? And we're doing like all these thoughts will always be there, and like I'm pretty sure I've almost cried in the middle of DMing like every time.
Oh my god.
Cause like
Wait, what?
or just like get a bit like pissed off, like why don't I understand? I've prepped so much for this, and like I don't know, it's intense, and most of the time that's why I don't want to DM, because like I don't know, I don't think I'm I don't think I'm chill enough to be a DM. You get what I mean?
I kinda do. At the same time, oh my god.
Cause like I remember when we were playing that one shot last time, and like I was this close to tearing out Rain's hair. I don't know. Cause he kept
What happened?
I don't remember, but I think he just kept like questioning everything, and I'm like, I can't. And I'm not a very good like how you say. I don't role play
Improviser?
characters all that well.
I can relate.
I can play my character. I cannot play like multiple characters and just switch them
I see.
all of a sudden. So like, and then when you always like question like, oh, what is this guy? Sounds a bit weird, and I'm like, no, that's not my intention. That's not how. Because I'm always sounding a bit like how you say, like nervous. and jumpy
I think it's really good.
when that's not what the character's supposed to do at all. So like. I think that's the hardest part for
One
me.
shot is on the stream on our YouTube channel if you want to see Aina running the
It's
session.
bad. I hate running the session, but the prep is great. Like, you can kind of just do stuff, and yeah, it's just like you have a vision, but you're not the person to run the execution. That kind of thing. That's how it is for me.
I would love to see a game co-GM'd by you, just to see what that would be like.
Yeah.
Like
You
one
could write
person
that
does the
story.
prep, the other does the
Running
The
the game.
running.
So
execution. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
you can
although-
help look for infos and shit when the GM's like, what about this? I know what happened here.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, although
Alright.
I don't know I'll look into it. I'll see if I can do it. But obviously, the one that runs it will be Ray, because
Will be my next target.
he's my left right for everything.
Alright, so because the time and schedules are a thing, let me ask you the same question, Rain. How long do you prep for our sessions?
Around 8 hours per session.
Oh.
Usually
Alright.
8 to 6 hours per session. That includes majority of it comes for like the token drawing, the map making, and so on. Actual notes writing, I think, is around 2 to 3 hours or so. I think in total. Yeah.
See,
Yeah, because that's like I said, that's the tedious part of make maps and everything. And for me, I like to make top-down tokens rather than using an image for the map. So usually I draw every single one myself if I can't find it. Otherwise, 2-minute tabletop is my savior. Go ahead and support them. They have a
Yup.
fucking awesome library of token.
I've seen
Go
their
ahead
you're
and check
toys
it out.
Jim
and
at
they kinda
tabletop.
Yeah. The token maker is amazing. I can't praise them enough for what they did over there. But when you play the Rust engine, you can't do that because your races are custom, so you have to make your own. I actually made my own 2-minute tabletop basically on my desk, so I can just swap the heads to the different races and so on. Yeah. But yeah, that's essentially it. It just takes time. And for me, I'm the opposite of Aina actually. I prefer to run the session and not prep.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, but
If-
I'm not good at improvising. I've done this once where I did not improvise anything when I was an earlier GM, and it was a boring session. It was a shopping session, and then like they have no plot hook, and like the cities that they're in is very generic, so there's barely anything there for them to go through, and it's just a pretty bland session overall. I'd like to think I'm better now. There have been a couple of sessions where like, oh, you want to go there instead? Sure. Yeah, there's a dungeon over there. There have been a couple of times over there. I'd like to think I've been better, but I'd rather not run a session without any prep, especially if you're going into a dungeon or something, because you want to have that rising and lowering of action, and when the player goes somewhere, they have something to find like that is meaningful rather than just something you conjure up in your head. If you're a good
Yeah.
improviser, go ahead. Me, I can't. I need prep.
For me, it's a wonderful mix of both. Hopefully wonderful. I don't know. The last session you guys played in with me was a fucking shopping session, so who am I to talk? Those can be very hit or miss when you arrive into a new city and it all opens up to you, and
That is true.
all
That
you
is
guys
true.
are actually pursuing like things that will lead to eventful things happening.
That's something you have to balance, because like if you keep giving them a goal that they have to pursue all the time, it becomes like the skill in rogues where like they're going somewhere, then they go somewhere else, then they go somewhere else. There's no time where they're like, let's chill and like let's go to the bar and just chill for a bit and everything. There's no chill moments,
Yeah.
That's right. GMs, give your players beach episodes. That's
Yes.
a takeaway.
Beach episode, spa
Yeah.
episode, casino episode, all those. Give them all that.
But yeah,
Because, like IRL, workers, employees, students need vacations too.
Exactly. Adventurers need vacations too. Don't let them unionize.
What?
Sorry,
Tell
I was trying to say else they will unionize. So,
Okay, so anyway, for today's lesson, the point of world building and prep is that it's something that scares a lot of rookie GMs. It scared the crap out of me when I started because I was given 2 players, or rather, I took in 2 players, and I was like, okay, so they start in this city. What's the name of the city? Okay, I'll make something out of that. And what do I do next? Okay, the overarching story. Okay, I have a vague idea, but then I started to over prep by like naming city districts, naming streets, put up the name of the captain of the guard, and like elaborate on his character despite having no intention of ever meeting him. Made maps for like taverns and random houses that the players were never gonna go into. I did so much prep. I did like a week of a very intense prep
Oh
damn.
god.
for the first session, and like mapped everything out and everything. And looking back at it now, I used maybe 5% of that
Ooh.
because that's just how it is when you
Yeah.
over prep.
Yeah.
And well, it took me a good couple of years to realize that maybe you should just like chill out, spend only a few hours writing the plot and a few hours preparing for the session itself. It's perfectly fine to prepare on the day of. And as my friend very wisely said one time, you're okay to start prepping anywhere, like at any time, unless it's 4 hours or less before the session, in which case you should probably really focus on it.
Yeah.
And my first ever one shot I ran, I also over prepared. And the moment like the party went off the rails, which happens with every party ever because players are assholes, I crumbled. I gave them like very false leads about the villain of the whole one shot and everything,
Uh-huh.
and they ended up like stabbing a good support character.
Oh
who
no.
was there for them because his actions were suspicious because they went off the rails, and I didn't accommodate that because I was over prepared,
Mm.
and I didn't consider that possibility. Which objective was the most fun part of the session once they stabbed him and realized, oh fuck, he's not the bad guy. When he collapsed on the ground. And that's the point of today's lesson. Don't over prepare. It can be very, very, very scary when you start GMing for the first time. You're gonna wanna write up the pantheon of your world, all the minute details, all the history of every city, every town, every character. You really don't have to do that, and I hope that's like evident enough.
I mean, that's true for like a one shot, right? But what about like a campaign? Even if it's like a short campaign, wouldn't you want to have that story ready in case someone asks?
To have an overarching story, yeah, you probably do want to have that ready,
Mhm.
but you don't have to go too deep on that as well. Usually you expand what the players take interest in, right? Like, I can write down the entire bloodline of a noble family, right? And there's a good chance that my party of 5 barbarians will never ask, hey, who's the king of this place? Just because, why would they, right? They don't care. But in case somebody does say something, that's a note for me to expand on that, behind the scenes. Usually
just like
how I do it.
just FYI for Aina, for like the Skillian Rogues campaign. Before the campaign, what I prepped is the villain is the witch. The witch have 7 lieutenants of the 7 deadly sins, 7 lieutenants. And the good guy group defeated the bad guy group, and the main good guy and the main bad guy used to date. That's it.
I'm sorry. I'm
Drama.
Yeah.
Hello?
And then like I prep the first session like I would prep a one shot, like the first adventure basically, and that's it. Like
Exactly.
I did not prepare like all these other. I gave them names, but that's about it. Just so that you ask, there's a name there. Beyond that, it's just like it slowly expands as we play together.
Exactly.
I think
My
that's
first,
my way of DMing as well. Like, I can't prep everything. I have no idea how to.
you can't. That's another thing.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know,
like,
because I wouldn't feel right if I don't over prepared.
I know. See, that's why you're scared of GMing. That's the thing.
I mean, I'm not scared of prepping and stuff. I'm scared of actually running the session. My biggest scare is role playing
Maybe
NPCs.
psych yourself up. That's the thing. There's a good chance of that, actually. But yeah, so that's kind of my point. If anybody has any other questions, you're free to ask. If not, I got a handy little tool for everybody's city building, which
Ooh.
Ooh,
it's
that
just
would
about
be-
polishing
Is it that cheap?
cities. No, it's
Oh, okay.
this. I'll drop it in the Twitch chat.
I have
It's old occupations and their names in like historical times and all that.
Okay.
It's so freaking cool. You can actually like flesh out NPCs through this, just to like give them more than he's a shopkeeper. That's the end of that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Click on any letters, I know, at the start, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And yeah, it's just wonderful to expand characters instead of saying, oh, he sells books. You know, here's what he does exactly. He I don't know, works at a printing press or something. Just expand it just a little bit more, just for that extra flair. Obviously, don't do it for every single NPC because you will lose your mind.
Yeah.
Do it for more major ones. The party's favorite tavern keeper or favorite shopkeeper, etc., etc., etc.
Yep. And even that, you
um,
don't have to do it in the first session. Do it when it happens,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah. Like, okay, one of the favorite NPCs in my current campaign for Dumb Luck, Ariane, the elf. Her entire thing was she was a thief as a kid. Now she's a barmaid. She's incredibly gullible. That's all I had on her when I introduced her. And then, like, 3 sessions in, everybody fell in love with her for some reason. And I started expanding from there, kind of. So, yeah. Don't over-prepare. Don't get into your own head too much. And don't stress. It's just that easy, guys. Just don't do it. I'm kidding, it's terrifying and can be terrifying, really. But it scares too many people, I think. Just the amount of prep they think they need.
I have a question though. I'm
Ask away.
asking for a friend because they're
Yeah,
about to run
for
a campaign.
friend, wink, wink.
No. This is genuinely where it applies. Genuinely.
Okay,
It's not
okay,
me.
okay.
My friend has been wishing to run this campaign where it's like a steampunk setting world, and he's got this whole like, oh, it's post-apocalypse, it's awesome and shit like that. Is like magic based with stones. He's in love with the lore of his world, but he is struggling so hard to find a way to set up the story for his game. Like, what's the main story of the game going to be? And I want to ask a question: is how do you make a campaign out of a world?
Start small. Like when I started doing campaign for Dumb Luck, which is the party that Rain and Aina are in among 3 other people. It started with like session 1 was, oh fuck, I invited 10 people to my game and I need to split up the group. What do I do? And it led to them like clearing out a small dungeon. Like they were paid to clear out a dungeon. And then they got teleported to a different place. And I was like, oh, thank God, I don't have to tackle that anymore. Then I was like, okay, what place do they end up in, right? And then I thought from there, just a random fun thing that seemed fun at the time. And then through that, I learned like what their kind of goals for the future were, like what elements of the world they were attached to, and I created a story around that. So like, kind of have like a session 0 with your players. Let it be generic. It's fine. Like, especially inexperienced players, it's fine to start in a tavern. It's not against the rules, for you players especially, there's no cliches. There's nothing like that. Just do whatever.
Dude, I'm experienced, and I still start almost all of my campaign years start in a prison.
There you
Only
go.
one campaign so far has not started in a prison. Everything else started in a
Bethesda
prison.
has been doing it for years, and it's fine.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
start small, let them go on a job, let them go on a small adventure, and see what they like,
Mm.
and build on that.
Alternatively, for Arcana 12, we literally agreed in the beginning what kind of campaign do we want to play, and we just agreed that let's do a treasure hunt. And everything fell from there. And then treasure hunt, maybe like there's 12 treasures because there's 12 classes and blah blah and so on. And then it finally became Arcana 12. It's yeah. So it's either I want to either do it too. Like you don't have to start with the big campaign early on. You can just start playing, dungeon crawling, or you can already have the big story and then slowly reveal. Both way work. But if you have a big story, you might want to start the world with it. Like that's how I did. Like the world does not exist before that. The treasure hunt started first, and then I built the world around that theme, basically.
I see. Okay.
And don't forget, it's perfectly fine to take references as like an artist needs a visual library for their own, drawings and stuff, and using references for drawing. Likewise, so do you need references for stories. It's perfectly fine to take inspiration because, let's be real, everything has been done at some point, and I'm 100% sure that all the players appreciate when they catch a little reference.
Yeah.
Like how in Rain's campaign, there's a great wolf called Sif. I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. That's Sif, the great wolf. I love that. And it's perfectly fine. No one's gonna call you out on it unless you're like, I don't know,
that
profiting hugely and ripping off like one for one just from everything.
Yeah. I guess from that point on, yeah.
So it's fine. Do your thing. Also, we're way over time, so
And we still have
I'm-
one more.
Oh,
I'm so used to this being the end.
Yeah.
that I forgot. So we'll go over to War now. Thank you for coming to class, and I'll see you at War segment in the audience.
Get ready for apparently the transition song has been kind of loud. I'm not sure how to reduce that, so get ready for the loudest one yet. I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh lord.
Delicious lag.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Homebrew Highlights, where we take a deep dive across the interweb to find out homebrew delights. Let's see what's cooking. Alright. I have to work real hard to find this information for everyone right now. Whole thing is tied up in corporate dealings between the devil and humans. Something about letting this demon run amok. It's a whole thing. I had to pay a guy to talk to a guy to get this item, alright?
Okay, alright.
Anything and everything basically is like the devils don't want this demon running amok. So without further ado, I don't care about who takes this item or whatnot, or who gets to use this item. I just bring about items to everyone in the masses. I present to you Bleeding Heart, a legendary great axe that requires attunement. Shall we delve further? If you look at the image,
Legendary items
honestly,
always nice.
yeah, it's very horrifying. As always, this item is a homebrew made by the user Eri Pockley, who has his own subreddit as well, where he posts a lot of custom homemade homebrew items. He also has a Patreon, so go check him out if you want to check out cool items. If you want to support him, there's his link to his subreddit should be in the chat. Is it there or yeah, never mind. I'll post it in the chat. Why not later? And yeah, let's go on further with it.
Sorry. Chris said in the chat, Aaron Pockley, did you put your name in the goblet of fire? This is so
Aaron
good.
Pockley. Alright, shit. Fuck, I just okay. Aaron Pockley is a perfectly good username. There's nothing. Alright, let's
It's
continue
so
with this
good.
horrifying item.
I love it.
Well, I just realized there's a heart in it.
Yeah, that's why it's called Bleeding Heart.
That's
I
why
mean,
it's called
yeah, I
Bleeding
know.
Heart.
I just
So cool.
Let's get on with this like disturbing item and not talk about Eri partly. All right. The description of the item is as follows: blood constantly drips from the head of the axe, oozed from the perpetually living heart encased in the red bloodstone. The owner of the heart is since long forgotten, and the demon trapped within the weapon refuses to elaborate whether it's their own heart or some victim of long lost past. The item, when attuned, requires this very specific attunement ritual. So, gore warning or everything like that. While attuning to the item, the user must stab the weapon onto their own chest and expend at least half of their hit. No, not at least. They must expend the total half of their hit dice. So, whenever you level up and whatever class you pick, the hit dice, you have to spend half, I assume, for each class you own or the whole class you are. And if those specific requirements are not met, they instead gain 3 levels of exhaustion and fail to attune to the item. The item will not hurt or kill you while in the process of attuning, as it magically prevents you from dying, some sort of blood magic or whatever. You will gain the 3 levels of exhaustion, and you can attempt to attune to it once more afterwards. But fair warning, you need to be at least in tip-top vitality shape, because you're gonna go a dark road from this point on. Before we talk further about the lore of the item, let's go on to specific abilities. While attuned, you gain joined body, which is basically you gain some properties of what the axe itself is able to do on its own. While attuned, you can read, speak, and write in Abyssal. You gain dark vision of 120 feet if you don't already have it, so there's no addition or anything like that. You just get it. You are immune to the poison condition, which is okay for a legendary item. You're now more than half of every monster's immunities. Or wait, yeah, immunities. Good job. And you cannot be disarmed of the axe, which is honestly kind of neat. I wonder if you can hold yourself onto a mountain with the axe, since you can't technically let go of it. But
you can't be disarmed, but I'm sure you can let go of it, I think.
Well, we're about to explore why you why you don't want to let go of the item.
Oh, okay, right. Go on.
Okay. As stated, while attuning to the item, you must stab the head of the axe onto the chest, onto your player character's chest. And once doing so, the axe will magically insert itself and reform itself to fit inside your body. You're like a whole Denji from Devilman, the pullback of the chainsaw situation.
Oh my god, okay.
When initiative is rolled, the axe handle appears out of your chest, and at any point of time, you are allowed to take the axe out of your chest, and you activate the magic weapon instantly. The magic weapon gives a +2 to bonus attack and damage rolls, and you also deal an additional 1d6 poison damage to targets that don't have their full maximum HP. So you hit them once, and then you hit them again. If they've already lost HP, you can stack the poison damage from then on. Also, when the combat ends, while you're holding the axe, or as soon as you touch the axe, it just magically rebounds back into your chest. I don't want to think about the image of a giant item just... I'm imagining like a scrawny Dex fighter, and all of a sudden this huge honking great axe just bounces like onto a diving board and a swimming pool that is your body. I don't want to think about it, but there you go.
I mean, maybe you shouldn't have built decks, you know?
Yeah,
Dex
their own fault.
but using strength weapon.
I mean, you're basically like, the axe is your heart.
That's true.
Yeah.
You just rip out your heart and hit people with it. Sorry.
This is the most dramatic way to break up with an ex. Anyway, you get also the Tainted Blood ability. When the axe gains a number of charges equal to half of your maximum hit dice. So remember, the hit dice that you use during the attunement process is the amount of charges you're able to get out of this weapon. You gain you gain the expanded charges every long rest, and what you can do with those charges is whenever you make an attack with a combatant or enemy that is organic blood, so nothing like automatons with oils or like magic in them. So something with living fluid that is being pumped from a organ. I guess I don't know what the definition of organic blood is in
Yeah.
this context. You can expend a charge to deal an extra 2d6 poison damage. So on a total, like theoretically, without counting for um, like player class abilities, you're able to do 3d6 poison damage plus great axe damage.
1d12.
Yeah, 1d12 plus your strength modifier or whatever bullshit is there. Anyway,
Legendary.
yeah,
So plus two
Legendary?
weapons.
Oh, +2 as well, yeah. For
yeah.
the
Also, yeah, plus
bonus
two
attack.
damage, right? As well, yeah, plus 2 damage
Yeah.
because of the. Also, while if the combatant dies from this attack, you gain 10 temporary HP because you use while using the charge. It does not do so every time. It's only when you make that attack and it kills the target that you can gain the 10 temporary hit points. The neat now finally for the most wacky ability that this weapon gives out, corruption beyond death. If the player character is reduced to 0 HP while attuned to the axe, you still fall unconscious, but your body does not. The axe then suddenly controls the entire movement of your player character and will act on your initiative turn. They will, whenever their initiative comes back, they will attempt to hit the nearest target and try to murder whatever is closest to them. Essentially, yeah, making random movements. So imagine the Maddening Crown as spell. Cast it on yourself, basically. You still roll death saving throws, and whilst this is all happening, and unless you die, um, it still will attack everyone, or unless you like regain consciousness, it will still attack everyone on its side, or the closest to it. That's the main abilities. Now let's go back to the first page where we talk about the lore. Basically, uh, the maximum hit dice that you've used while in the attunement process, you also lose them entirely from that process. Your maximum hit dice from then on, whenever you take a short rest, is
Ooh.
only half of that pool. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Damn.
if you're dungeon delving and you're a glass cannon at that point, you still be best to have a
Most
cleric.
campaign don't use hit dice anyway, so
Yeah, it's a
should be
great
good.
resource to pull from.
Yeah, like the hit dice is not used as much as I would like in the game, so it's really cool to see items that take use of it.
Yeah, I thought so too when I was looking at this, and um, it kind of poses an interesting challenge if, like, the player characters, let's say they've come up with this, come upon this item. Like honestly, I don't know how to because I'm not an experienced DM. I don't know how to play around, like how to get the players to not be either broken or too weak at this point, because if we're doing like a long strenuous combat where there's no time for long rests, circa the reasons for the story happening, it's gonna be very detrimental for that player character, I feel.
Mm.
The half of their hit dice when they're like level 10 is like how many hit dice at that point? Yeah, it's like a level.
5.
5.
Yeah, you can't even heal. You're right. You can't even heal like a quarter if you're rolling average. You can't heal a quarter of their health back if the battle, let's say, was like per matching their CR and everything. So it was just then counting all the math BS still, but not. But anyways, the neat thing about this weapon, remember the corruption beyond death tad bit? Yeah, this weapon has its own sentience. The demon trapped within this weapon still exists and is basically a chaotic evil. The weapon is labeled as a chaotic evil aligned sentient object that has intelligence a score of 15, wisdom 13, and charisma of 18. It has hearing and dark vision at a range of 120, similar to what you gain the ability when you tune to the axe. and it can telepathically communicate with the wielder in Abyssal. Any background, some small, since we're cut short for a bit of time, the impost here also has some background lore on what the demon is and what their main jig up is. Last bit of tat notes that I could speak right now is that the great axe will actively try to corrupt the user to perform chaotic deeds, because the demon is just wants to destroy all forms of order, be it good or bad, and just bring about chaos. And if uh, directly refused, the weapon will take control of the player character when they fall unconscious, like resting fall unconscious, and perform heinous acts of like committing heinous crimes and acts, which may influence the wielder's mind. So get your wisdom scores high and make sure you don't fail a wisdom saving throw.
I like that.
Anyways, yeah,
That's cool.
I am not legally binding for any deaths and crimes committed by this weapon. Talk to your DMs about this, and okay, I got like notification things about people coming up to me. I am just gonna close this feed. Toodaloo! Bye, everyone.
That was good. Also, very good magical item. Oh my god.
Scary,
can I go
though.
for a second?
Yeah, it's a legendary
It's-
item.
It's very scary, but it's very cool. I like it. It uses the hit dice, which nobody ever uses. Good point.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see it in a campaign where short resting is a thing.
Yeah.
Very cool to see as well. I like the abilities it gives you. The extra damage is a lot, but you're also
Yeah.
sacrificing a lot with the
Yeah.
hit dice, and the whole fighting after death thing, or rather after being knocked unconscious, is very cool. Like my favorite trope is just that. Like in Berserk, the Berserker armor, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh
It-
yeah, it keeps you fighting even
magically
beyond death.
infuses your bones forcefully back together.
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
leave the body.
Snaps back together. Yeah.
Gruesome.
Like as long as you have blood in your body, you can keep fighting.
Yeah.
I love that so much. That whole trope, if we can call it trope.
Yeah.
I love it, and this kind of has that vibe. And
Oh, it's
also
good
imagine
shit.
imagine tying down your barbarian every night because otherwise he goes goblin mode.
Oh my god, yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
Oh, God.
because like if you don't tie him down, he's just gonna go around and spread chaos basically because he's unconscious. He's gonna wake
Well-
up the next morning covered in blood and ash or something.
Oh god, yeah.
I like that it has the decency to not possess when you're conscious, because I will fuck with roleplay a lot.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just when
true.
you're unconscious. That's
Yeah.
very good as well.
It's
You
just
gotta
this weapon just drips with flavor. I really love.
Good job,
Yeah.
Harry Pugley.
Yeah, Harry Pokley.
yeah, I've checked out most of his items as well in his subreddit. They're this flavorful, so definitely, if you want more items of this quality, go check him out.
Or comment below and have War cover them next episode.
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah, whatever
post-
I
yeah.
post this episode. Anyway, yeah, that's it we have for you this week. Yeah,
Thank you all
Yeah.
for coming.
Yeah.
You've
and
been real. Thank you, Juki. Thank you, Albert. Yerk.
Thank you, War.
what?
Thank you, War.
Sorry, I'm here.
Reading off the
What-
names in the chat.
Intrusive thoughts winning again.
Anyway, we got
Thanks for
some.
coming out, guys.
Yeah, thanks everyone. We got some memes for you to see before you go, though. Like, I mean,
But
you
it's
know,
fresh.
just so
Or is
you
it
have
cake?
some laugh even when we're not here. So, bye.
Bye.